Welcome in to the NY to MD podcast on live stream. Kevin B. Sherrard. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. What's going on? This is kind of cool, man.
We're streaming live, huh?
Yeah, man. Taking the NY to MD podcast to YouTube, man. So.
Yeah, hey, we gotta go everywhere, right?
Exactly.
Still, now this is new for me. Maybe new for B, but I know it's new for me. So if I'm not looking directly at the camera, I wasn't a trained actor when I was younger. So I might have some issues with the setting. I might not be centered and everything. You may hear a dog, or a couple of human beings, but this is our first live stream. So just bear with us, trying something new, but I'm glad that you're here to join us for the fun.
Yeah, man. Basically, I texted you earlier today, and I was hoping you'd be up to this, man, because I watched that football game last night. Last night, of course, with the Packers.
Yep.
Versus the Lions. Lions were on the road, and first of all, I just want to issue an apology. You know me. I'm pretty hard on your boy, Matt Stafford.
Oh, yeah, your boy Matty. Yeah. Your favorite QB ever.
Yeah, so basically, I'm pretty hard on Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
I mean, to the point where you think I have something personal against him or something.
I don't know what he did to you. I don't know if Georgia played Maryland in a game once and they put up 50 on you. I don't know. But you and Matt Stafford are not BFFs, is all I'm saying.
I know, man. I even sent you that parody, Gridiron Heights.
Which was hilarious, but this poor guy.
Yeah. But my whole thing with Matt Stafford is that he doesn't show up and get big games. When he plays against teams with winning records, he doesn't win. So, I wanted to see how he was going to perform last night. And he played well, man.
Yeah. They really should have won that game.
Yeah. And exactly what you said. They should have won, but you know why they didn't win? And no, it wasn't because of number 12.
Well, I mean, he is the man. But are you talking about a certain animal? An equine?
What?
Some zebras?
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay.
Come on, man. You don't know equine? Come on, dog.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking of horses, but anyway.
Well, they are related to horses.
I know, man. But look, you've been beating this drum, especially this year with the refs. You've been on them hard. Last night was utterly ridiculous.
The whole but you remember we even talked about it during that Kansas City game. Remember? We were talking about like it was every other play. It was like every play was a flag. It was like 6 consecutive plays. There was a penalty for something. And I'm like, I can't even watch this.
Yeah. And you're right. It's getting to the point they're throwing flags out play after play after play. But last night to me, it's pretty like them refs had money on the game, man. I'm sorry. It looked like they gave every opportunity, man, to have the Packers to come back. They got down early 13-0, and it seemed like every time, man, like there was a sack or it was third and long.
It was a
penalty. It was ridiculous, man.
But honestly, it's been like that all season.
I know.
It's just the tickiest, tackiest. And the thing is, in football, you can say maybe there's holding, like you said, there's holding on every play. You know how I always say that?
Right.
So if there is, okay, but you don't need to call it every play. Or you don't need to make up stuff as you go along.
Right.
Like some things aren't even close. Like we always have a hard time with the unnecessary roughness penalties on quarterbacks. Or whatever is a late hit, or whatever the case may be. It's too much of that. And they're just throwing flags just to throw flags.
Yeah.
And I've seen more, offensive pass interference than I've ever seen. And they just are flag happy. They're flag happy, and it's driving me insane. But ratings are up.
Seems like every year ratings are up, man. It seems like every year around this time, ratings are up and all this and all that. Attendance is up, but this has got to stop, man. It's really messing with my enjoyment of the game. It was a great game. Don't get me wrong. Last night was a great game, but I really feel like Detroit got robbed last night. I really do. And the penalty that really got me is when Green Bay at the end of the game is driving. They're going to kick a field goal. It's about 1 minute and 24 seconds left. Third down. Here we go. Another hands to the face penalty. Automatic first down, right? So now all Green Bay, they were already in field goal range, so they were going to kick the field goal. Detroit had 3 timeouts. I think they had used them all. And now all they had to do, Green Bay, was to run down the clock, man, until it was 2 seconds left. And I just feel like there was so many things wrong about that game. There was one time Green Bay had 13 men. 13 hurt. They had 13 men on the field, wasn't called.
How do you miss that?
Exactly.
How do you miss that?
It's ridiculous. Blatant pass interference, man, against Detroit. Once again, wasn't called. I'm just getting sick of it, man. It is really, really getting old. And I know we say this every year about the refs, but this year,
it's
interrupting with the flow of the game. It's not just bad calls this year; it's the game flow. These flags are interrupting the flow of the game, and it's really. This is why I don't like watching football right now, man, because of it.
Yeah, or that's why we watch the Red Zone channel. It's hard to watch an individual football game. I think I was watching the game last night, and I may have turned from it, or I forgot it was on, one of the two. And I saw like the field goal for them to win it. But this morning is when I read about all the controversy with the referees, but this has been going on all season, and we've seen it firsthand with all the games that are played. It's just egregious with the amount of flags that have been thrown for everything. And the thing is, I feel like they're becoming baseball umpires. You know how much I don't like that. Like, I need you not to be seen. You're not part of the action.
Yeah, you hate them so much you want robot umpires.
I'm about to have what's that thing on Fox? That guy, the robot guy. He needs to go out there and ref. I'm tired of it. I mean, why is this so difficult? I mean, every play. I mean, literally, there'll be 6 plays in a row where there's a flag thrown. How many times have you seen that? It's too much.
This is happening way too much, man.
It's too much, and you can't have that happen. So you can't have that happen, and it needs to stop.
Yeah,
it needs to stop because I cannot watch what's going on right now.
Yeah. Well, apparently a couple things. I think the refs came out today and they did say they made a mistake on that second hands to the face call against Detroit, the one that right before the end of the game.
Okay.
They came out and said it was an error. Also, I believe there was a meeting today with the owners, either the owners or the refs. I forget who, but yeah, there was some meeting about this today because this is getting ridiculous, man. They're going to have to do something. But basically,
when? How? I heard something about this Sky Ref or something. That you can oversee the whole field. Well, why don't we have this before anyway?
Remember when we first talked about this was back in, I believe this was back in the summer or back during training camp. That was one of the recommendations I thought they should have did after the whole fiasco in the NFC Championship game. I think college
that was the worst.
Yeah, but I think college gets it right, Hurt, if there's a sky judge or a ref in the booth at every game, and if they see something's not right, they call the refs down.
Like targeting, and they'll go up to the booth and they'll look at it.
Right.
Again, this is why college is better than the pros anyway. That's why I love college. The games are smoother. I'm not saying there aren't penalties and targeting, you're out of the game. They have somebody up there looking at things, and they'll review it and they'll come back down, and it doesn't really bother me.
No.
Here, 6 flags in a row.
Yeah.
It's like, false start. Okay, next one, hold it. Next one, legal formation. Next one, hands to the face. Next one. I'm like, I don't care if they mug each other at this point. Can we just have a play?
Right, man.
I just want to have a play.
I want to see a drive. I want to see a drive with no flags.
No, seriously though. No matter what happens, say if it's a big play, where do your eyes go?
Oh, I'm automatically looking for yellow on the ground.
I'm trying to look for the flag. As soon as the play happens, I'm like, okay, let me look to the corner because that's where the flag is.
Right. Right. I'm looking on the field for the flag, or I'm looking for the flag symbol, like you said, in the corner.
Yeah. All the time, because I'm paranoid. Like no matter what the big play is, something's gonna get called back.
Yeah. Well, like I said, basically, I just wanted to apologize to Matt Stafford. He played well last night.
And he won like 5 in a row against Green Bay or something like that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he won like 5 in a row. So
Green Bay hasn't exactly been a formidable team the past.
Well, I mean, they still have the best quarterback in the history of existence of life.
When he's been healthy, when he's been on the field.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, they got to protect him. And they seem to be doing a good job this year. So they only have 1 loss. And I forgot who they're playing next, but that was for first place. But the Vikings are playing well now. Your boy Kurt is coming alive. And your boy Zach Brown got released for talking about him, I guess.
Yeah. Ooh, man.
Speaking of getting released, how about some cornerbacks trading places?
Yeah, man. So look, I knew we were going to come on and do this today, but I did not expect all these trades to go down.
Dude, first of all, I was shocked when I saw Peterson get traded.
Yeah.
Marcus Peters.
Right.
I was like, and he got traded to the Ravens.
Right.
I was like, why would they trade when Talib just went on IR? So I'm like, who do you have back there?
Right.
And behold, who goes over to LA? My boy Ramsey. So he leaves Jacksonville. He's out in LA. He's out in prime time land. He's out in Hollywood where he belongs, where he can shine, establish his trade, getting away from the hecticness of Jacksonville and all the stuff that was distracted him, and going to LA where he could shine like a star. And I love it. Yeah,
man. So let me get your thoughts on what they gave away to get Jalen.
Oh, I don't even know what they got. You got to tell me.
So they gave up a 2020 first-round draft pick.
Okay.
A 2021 first-round draft pick.
Wow.
And a 2021 fourth-round draft pick.
Ooh. Well, for a team that's trying to win a Super Bowl, that probably it hits you a little bit different because you need defense. Because look how many points they've been giving up.
Yeah.
So you need all the help you can get. And they know that they have this tight window to go from to establish and the quarterback?
Jared Goff.
There you go. Goff is playing like Fisher's there again. I don't know what was going on. Like, dude threw for like 7 yards last game.
I don't know what was up with that.
But hey, I would do it. I would do it in a heartbeat too. You get a younger player, you have him under control for maybe one more season. I think there's a club option. I'm sure he'll know he'll get his money out there in LA. You have just a better environment. No Tom Coughlin. You don't have to get in 5 minutes early to your meetings. So good for him. And it was the right move. But I was surprised they got rid of Peters because I didn't see this happening. I didn't know that it was moving one to get to the other. So, yeah. What did the Ravens give up to get Peters?
So they gave up a 5th-round draft pick in next year's draft, and they also gave away. They traded Kenny Young, who's a linebacker. He's in his 2nd year.
Okay.
But the Ravens have kind of soured on him. We lost C.J. Mosley to the Jets in free agency. We had another linebacker. Patrick Alonso. He got hurt.
I got to do this real quick. Jets, Jets. I got it.
Wow. Okay.
They had an important victory for me this past weekend, so
that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I was. How about them? Nah, I ain't never gonna say it.
Yeah, don't go there. Oh my God.
Not gonna do it.
No, man, but
but good. You guys need it because you guys have a lot of injuries.
Yeah. So. We've lost 2 of our cornerbacks, 2 of our safeties. We lost Tony Jefferson 2 weeks ago, and yesterday we lost Deshaun Elliott, who was a 2nd-year player who was filling in for him. So we actually had speaking of the Jets, we signed a player off their practice squad, Bennett Jackson, who was actually on the Ravens practice squad last year, and he was in training camp with us this year, but he was one of the final cuts. The Jets picked him up, put him on their practice squad, so now we're signing him back to filling out a loss at safety. We also will bring in Marcus Peters, which is a good move because Marlon Humphrey, he's our number one corner, and he's been playing at a Pro Bowl level. Held Odell Beckham to just 2 catches 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that could just be their offense.
Yeah. So getting a really good number 2. Marcus Peters, he's had a little bit of a drop off, but he doesn't have to be the number 1 here. And if he could just be a really, really good number 2, that'll help us out. We still have Jimmy Smith coming back. He should be back in a couple weeks. So I think things are shaping up for the Ravens. Honestly, they signed a couple players off the street to fill them in at linebacker. Josh Bonds, who was with the Ravens previously, was on the Super Bowl team. They signed him, and he's filled in well these past 2 games.
And Zach Brown's out there.
And Zach Brown's out there if we need to. If we need to pick another linebacker. So
as long as he doesn't talk about the opposing team's quarterback and they go off on him, he should be fine.
Yeah. So we'll see, man. I like the Ravens' moves, but they need to do one more move. They need to bring in someone who can rush the passer. That has been the Ravens' weakness this year. We cannot get to the quarterback. I mean, we played Cincinnati, who had been sacked 20 times before we played, and we never got to Andy Dalton until the last drive of the game. So hopefully we'll bring in a pass rusher. I'm kind of hoping maybe we can get Terrell Suggs back for like a 6th or 7th round draft pick. I will take him back, but
yeah, I mean he's at like the end of his career. But I'm sure. I mean, the Cardinals. I mean, they got 2 wins now.
Yeah.
So I mean, and he went to school down there, so maybe it is a tad bit warmer.
Yeah.
So maybe he wants to stay down there for a little bit. Did he sign a 1 year or 2 year down there?
I can't remember. I'm thinking it might have been like a 2-year, $10 million contract.
Okay, but when has football suddenly become the NBA?
I'm loving this, man.
Yeah, I mean, I like the movement. I like the player movement. I like the freedom that seems that they have. Of course, not freedom of speech. We'll get to that a little bit. But this mid-season. Yeah. And we got cornerbacks trading places. We've never had this. Trades were so rare.
Yeah, I mean,
it was like little trades. Right. These are impact players trading places during the middle of a season, and I hope it continues.
Yeah, man. And the cool thing is we still have 2 weeks left before the trading deadline, so I'm looking forward to see what happens.
Is this like the NBA trade deadline, or is this like MLB trade deadline, which is actually a month after the official trade line is over, but you can still trade people?
Well, they actually they changed that in baseball. They
don't finally. Okay, because that was always so confusing to me. It was such a big deal. The trade deadline is July, and then it gets
on the waiver deadline.
And I'm like, so because I think Verlander went through or something. Isn't that how he got traded?
That's how he got in.
Verlander, like freaking Verlander.
I know, man. It's crazy.
Speaking of Verlander. Let's go Astros up 2-1.
Yeah. Oh, I'm happy about that.
They won tonight, but I know what you're not happy about.
Yeah, I think DC, they were up. The Nats, they were up like 5-0 right now. So they're about to sweep the Cardinals.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, let me see. Hey, Google, what's the score of the Nationals baseball game?
The Nationals are leading the Cardinals 7-1 in the middle of the 4th.
Wow.
Good. 7-1. What was this yesterday's game over again? Good. Where did the Cardinals go? Anybody?
Man, I don't know what happened. It's like they had that 10-run explosion in Game 5 against the Braves, and they
that was it
after that.
Yeah, they stopped hitting. Yeah, no, Nats in the World Series.
Yeah,
you called it though. Good job.
Yeah,
Be a sweep.
They're You know, I strongly believe, man, in sports destinies, and the Nats to me just had that look of a team, man. That's just on its way. They're destined to win, man. As much as I hate to say it, because you know I do not like the Nats.
Nope.
But
Hey,
they have very strong.
if it's Nats versus Stros, I'll go for the Stros, of course.
Oh, I'm
Nats
I'm
versus Yankees. You know I ain't cheering for no Yankees.
All right.
Not gonna do it.
All right.
Speaking of real quick.
Yeah.
So the Los Angeles Kings have made the playoff. They've won the Stanley Cup in I think 14 and 16.
Okay.
Maybe it was somewhere around there. Okay. But since then, they've lost in the first round every year, ever since they hung up a Taylor Swift banner. So this year, they covered the banner up to try to bring them good luck. Now, you know I'm superstitious.
And I'm a little stitious. You knew that was coming.
You're never going to let that die.
No.
I know. As soon as I said, I was like, I need to think of another word. But what do you think about that? Like, you covered up Taylor Swift's banner just so you can make it back to the Stanley Cup again?
Wow.
Was it really her fault?
Come on, really? That's a little.
Why don't you just shake it off, right?
What banner? Why does she have a?
There's a lot of musicians that have banners. Mark Anthony has one in the American Airlines Arena, whatever it is in Miami, for like 6 consecutive sellouts.
Oh, see, I didn't realize that.
Bruce Springsteen, I think, has one in Philadelphia for a couple of concerts. So they do give banners to different musicians depending on what they do.
Okay.
At those places. So, yeah, but they had to cover up Taylor Swift. So I'm sure she's going to write a song about it.
Yeah. And it'll be a hit.
Yeah, definitely. All right.
And she'll come back to perform for her banner uncovering.
Yep, that's true. So we're going to talk about China.
Yeah. So let's just let the people know what we're going to do this week on the podcast, sir.
Yeah. So we have, of course, the whole slate of football games that we had this past week. We're going to have our picks of games coming up for the week ahead. I think both of our teams are still playing. I don't think we have bye weeks yet.
No.
Right? Okay. So any big college football games we may have, top rankings we have for the week. Also, we got to talk about the NBA is in this mess.
Yeah.
And it just gets worse day by day.
Yeah. So we definitely have to talk about this China issue, man.
Yeah. No, we're done. We're going to go more in depth on that on the podcast this weekend. And also, we got to have our Survivor.
Yeah.
Recap.
Have a quick Survivor recap.
So, and maybe some Halloween stuff and things. It's October, right?
Yeah.
Even though there's already Christmas stuff out.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. Even though I did see Christmas stuff out in September.
Oh wow.
But it's just too soon for me. It's too soon. Yeah. # too soon. So that's what we have coming out for you guys. But of course, we're always on all our media platforms, including StreamYard. But also follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, and on the Instagram, where we're going to have a couple of things about these trades that happened today. And also on Twitter. Oh, Twitter. I said Twitter. I said IG again. Keep going, man. This camera thing is getting to me.
Let's see. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're on Spreaker. We're on iTunes. We're now on YouTube.
There you go. And download us. Download us on iTunes, on Spreaker, on Stitcher apps, and give us 5 stars. Not for what I just said, but just for the content we gave you a little bit earlier. So,
all right.
We good, man?
We're good.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next week. We're out.